Sony WF-C710N promises premium Sony noise cancelling, all-day battery, and flagship sound at a mid-range price. Either we've reached budget earbud paradise, or we're about to expose some very expensive disappointment. On paper, you're getting active noise cancelling, up to around 20 hours of total battery with the case, Sony's app with EQ and adaptive sound control, plus IPX4 water resistance in a compact, lightweight design. Sounds criminally generous for the price, right? But here's the thing. Every brand now claims flagship features in cheaper buds, and most of them quietly cut corners where you don't notice until week 2. I've been daily driving the WF-C710N alongside my WF-1000XM5 and some cheaper buds for a solid week to see what's real and what's marketing magic. I've put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after a week of testing. Let's set expectations. Sony markets the WF-C710N as the sweet spot between budget and flagship. The big promises are powerful active noise cancelling in a compact design, clear, bass-rich Sony sound with customizable EQ, all-day battery with quick charging, comfortable fit for long commutes and workouts. Sounds like the perfect everyday pair, right? Pretty bold claims for a mid-tier price point. They're basically hinting you can get most of the XM5 experience for a lot less money. But here's where things get interesting. When you stack these up against Sony's own lineup and real-world usage, some of those promises start to look a little optimistic. Reality check. Let's go claim by claim. They claim powerful noise cancelling. What you actually get is solid, but nowhere near XM5 levels, and that's expected at this price. In the office, constant fan noise and AC hum get knocked down nicely, so it feels quieter. But on the train or a plane, low rumbles still come through, and higher-pitched voices slice right past the ANC. Here's where it gets mathematically impossible. If you think you're getting flagship tier cancellation for mid-tier money, you're not. Sony clearly tuned these for everyday city noise, not hardcore travel. They claim premium Sony sound with punchy bass. Out of the box, the WF-C710N leans warm and bass-forward, very similar to the older WF-C700N. The low-end thumps, pop and EDM sound fun and vocals sit fairly clear. But let's be real. The detail, imaging, and separation are a step down from the WF-1000XM5. Crash cymbals can smear together and busy rock tracks get a bit congested. The good news, with the Sony headphones app you can tame the bass and bring out more mids. The bad news, you kind of have to, otherwise it can feel boomy and muddy depending on your music. Battery claims. Sony advertises around 7-8 hours with ANC off and closer to 5-6 hours with ANC on, plus extra charges from the case to land near that 20-ish hour mark total. In my mixed use at about 60% volume with ANC on, I was consistently landing just under 5 hours per charge. Respectable, but not miracle territory. If a listing says 30+ hours total with heavy ANC, that's marketing fantasy. Physics and battery density are not that generous in this size. Comfort and fit are where things get interesting in a good way. Sony went with that small, rounded design similar to the C700, and these practically disappear in your ear, and I could wear them for a 3-hour editing session without hotspots. But here's the plot twist. Seal is everything. If you don't take a minute to test all the ear tips, your ANC and bass will feel underwhelming, and you'll blame the earbuds when it's really the fit. Then there's the smart stuff. They promote app control, adaptive sound control, and possibly multi-point on newer firmware. Yes, you do get decent EQ, ANC control, and some convenience features. But hold on. Switching between devices, especially if you're juggling a laptop and phone, is still not as seamless as Apple's ecosystem. That's not switching. That's expensive confusion if you expect AirPods-style magic. Here's what nobody tells you. A lot of the glowing 5-star reviews on shopping sites are written after day one. Of course they're impressed. Anything sounds great compared to old, half-dead earbuds. Dig into the 3-star reviews after a few weeks, and you'll see patterns: minor connection drops in busy city areas, ANC that struggles on flights, and battery life that feels shorter than the spec when you crank the volume. Sound quality. The WF-C710N gives you a fun, V-shaped sound, boosted bass and slightly lifted highs. For casual listening, it's enjoyable. Hip-hop, pop, EDM. These hit nicely. But compared to higher-end Sonys, you lose some micro-detail and soundstage. In my tests, acoustic tracks from artists like Ed Sheeran or John Mayer sounded good, but not wow. Guitars lacked a bit of sparkle, and background instruments sometimes blurred together. The saving grace is Sony's EQ. You can dial down the bass a few notches, bump the mids, and get a much more balanced profile. What the marketing doesn't mention is that you have to put in that tuning work if you're picky. Battery life. Here's where expectations and reality diverge. Sony's numbers are best case. Moderate volume, no constant toggling of ANC or calls. In real life, with ANC on and some calls sprinkled in, 4.55 hours per earbud is what I consistently saw. The case adds about 2 more full charges. Good enough for a workday with one top-up, but if you're a long-haul traveler, these are not set and forget like over-ear XM5s. Quick charge is legit though. Around 10 minutes back in the case gave me roughly an hour of playback in my tests. Build quality and comfort. The plastic feels lightweight and a bit less premium than Sony's flagship line, but not cheap toy level. The IPX4 rating means sweat and light rain are fine gym and commute approved. The case is compact and pocket-friendly, though no wireless charging at this tier, which some competitors now offer. No deal breaker, but worth knowing. Connectivity and features. Pairing is quick, connection was mostly stable, and latency for video was acceptable on both Android and iOS. Here's what nobody tells you. Some users report occasional random dropouts in crowded areas with lots of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth devices. I had a couple of brief glitches on a busy train station platform. Not deal-breaking, but it happened. Call quality is decent indoors, a bit more compressed and noisy outside. The mic system suppresses background hum but can make your voice sound slightly processed. So, verdict time. Should you buy the Sony WF-C710N, or is this just tech roulette? My take: recommended but with clear expectations. Pros: comfortable, compact design, fun, customizable sound, decent ANC for everyday use, solid battery for commuting and work, and Sony's reliable app support. Cons: ANC is a clear step down from the XM5. Sound out of the box is very bass-heavy. No wireless charging, and connectivity can hiccup in crowded environments. If you want true flagship noise canceling and audiophile detail, save your money for the WF-1000 XM5. But if you're upgrading from cheap, no-name buds and want a trustworthy brand with good features under premium pricing, the WF-C710N makes sense. Just don't buy into the idea that this is a mini XM5. Know what you're getting and you'll be happy. Stay savvy out there. Thanks for hanging out with me on this deep dive. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I've put the link to check current pricing and read more real-world reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these investigations without costing you extra. Drop a comment with what you're using right now and what you want me to expose next: budget earbuds, smartwatches, whatever you're curious about. Hit subscribe if you like no-nonsense tech breakdowns. This is channel name, cutting through the hype so you don't get burned.